So you would be interested in what did you find? We found out that 38% of adult Nigerians, in that study, we measured people's blood pressure. We didn't allow them to come to the hospital. We moved around with, a vehicle, around this country. The study I'm talking about was funded by TED Fund, the National Research Grant of TED Fund, which I got in 2017. I was the principal investigator. Why I'm giving these figures is so that Nigerians will relate directly with what we are talking about. TED Fund funded this research project, and we went around these places. So what did we find? I'm sure that would be your interest.
Yes.
We found out that 38% of adult Nigerians are hypertensive. Now, the implication is that it's about 4 out of every 10. That's what 38% means. That if you gather 10 people, 4 of them will be hypertensive. And of this number, about 60% of them are aware that they are hypertensive. You see, the challenge with hypertension is that you will be hypertensive because it doesn't give any symptom. You wouldn't know that you are hypertensive. So you move around your usual business. In fact, those few people have some symptoms when they are hypertensive. Those people are what I call the exception. The usual presentation is that you wouldn't know. And that is why we call it a silent killer. Does that make some sense to you now? So people wouldn't know. Now, out of the people who know that they are hypertensive, only 30% of them are receiving treatment. Now, out of those who are receiving treatment, only 10 to 20% of them have their blood pressure under control. So I think you can now relate with these statistics. Are you getting it? And like Dr. Seko rightly pointed out, what hypertension does is that it affects those pipes, he calls them the pipes, that lead blood out of the heart. It affects them so much so that the heart muscle begins to get thickened as a way of, responding to the fact that the heart will be pumping against a very high and elevated pressure. So the heart muscles will begin to thicken up. Now, it continues to do that until it gets to a point that it becomes too weak. It can no longer, adapt to it. And at that point, we say it has failed. But it may not fail for everybody. As it is getting thicker, it means that the blood that supplies oxygen to it will not be enough because it's now thicker than what it's supposed to be ordinarily. And then again, there may be a deposition of cholesterol on the wall. Other things like cigarette smoking may also affect that pipe, will make that pipe not to be as smooth as it's supposed to be, Then what will then happen is that there will be a blockade of that artery, the pipe that supplies the heart. And that is what can give to heart attack, like he said. So you see why we always talk about hypertension.